So exactly 1 year ago, when I turned 17 years old in May, I had roughly $1,000 to my name. And those $1,000 were from working jobs at multiple golf courses, really just not knowing what I was doing. And fast forwarding to now, just turning 18 years old, I've made my first $100,000 profit just through entrepreneurship, literally off a laptop. And in this video, I'm going to kind of just recap myself being 17 years old, kind of my story throughout the year, and what happened, what was helpful for me, so then you can maybe learn something yourself if you're kind of in the same boat maybe I was a year ago. So real quick is just some context is, late 16 years old, I found entrepreneurship. Years prior to that, I played a lot of video games, so I really was not doing much, like 12 hours days, didn't really care much about school. I had maybe a couple friends here and there, but didn't really do much social activities either. And ultimately for me, I had really nothing else. And the second I found entrepreneurship, and I think I've stumbled across Iman and the whole guru space online pretty much as a whole, I was like, there's no way these people are living these lives and I can't live that myself. So immediately that sparked something in me, and I was just like, all right, I've got to go see what's going on. And I bought my first course with the money I saved up and made from golf courses. This was around late 16 years old, and there was about I would say 6-month period of me just from late 16 to when I turned 17 of literally nothing. I saw no results with my business for 6 months. I DM'd, I did everything you could have thought of, and I didn't get anywhere. Okay, so there was like a whole like half a year of like nothing. But anyways, when I turned 17, that month of May was the first month I actually closed a client, and it was kind of like a free trial, but like I think it was for like $350 or $500. I'll put actually the Stripe screenshot up on here in the screen. But that was my first actual client I closed, and that was for my agency. So I bought Iman Gaji's course back, I would say November of 2022. And right around there was when I first initially started it and saw kind of just what entrepreneurship was, kind of got the feel of it and everything like that. And fast forward 6 months later, I closed my first client, and this was after me just doing everything. Cold calls, organic. I didn't really have much money, and then other than maybe the golf courses and stuff I worked at prior, like I said. But ultimately, I saw something. So I was like, okay, I've really got to go all in this. And at the time, I was pretty overweight. I really didn't do anything. I was pretty lazy. I didn't do much, to be honest, besides just kind of just sitting on my laptop and doing whatever. So at that point, I set goals for the summer, and I can play a clip here on the screen as well. But I essentially said to myself, I'm going to hit $10,000 a month as a 17-year-old within that summer. That's kind of the whole point, is during the summer, got as much time as I need to hit that 10K goal. 2 clients, so originally I had a 10K per month goal by the end of summer, so I would say that put me right on track toward it, since it's right at the end of June. Okay, I ran a marketing agency, social media marketing agency, or SMMA, for real estate agents. And that for me was the goal. I had to hit that. I needed to. Then in the month of June, the month after I turned 17, I closed my first ever retainer client. It was for $1,250. I remember it like it was yesterday. And essentially, I was super excited. It was the first time I ever pitched something that was that high of a price. It was supposed to be for 3 months. And fast forward 1 month later into, I would say mid-July, heard no response. She ended up charging back a couple weeks later, and I lost all the money. That was my first, or maybe probably second, kick in the face with just entrepreneurship as a whole, from those 6 months where I got nothing, no results or anything, just really didn't see anything at all, to then now finally closing someone for some money and immediately losing it all. So it wasn't the best feeling out there. And I know there's a lot of people out there who think it's all sunshines and rainbows, it's perfect. Definitely not. I do not want to say that it is, because it wasn't for me, and I don't think it is really for anyone. So within the month of June, that was about the only thing I saw, was that one client who ended up charging back. Fast forward a month later into July, I actually closed, I think $3,000 or $4,000 worth. I can put the Stripe screenshot up here as well, like what I did in that month. Essentially within that month, I closed a couple clients from the retainer offer I was pitching to these real estate agents for Facebook ads and everything like that. Kind of just following what I saw on YouTube. I looked at guys like Joel Kaplan. I joined his course, and then I split Iman's course, like I said, with 3 other guys back November. So I was already kind of in courses. I was trying to learn just what to do and how to actually run a business, because I really just didn't know. And that month I made like $4,000 of just completely no pay. That was like outreach, completely SMS blasts, emails, cold calls, off completely that. I wasn't spending money on ads. It was nothing like that. I actually closed monthly retainers, spending the time, setting up systems and go high level and things like that, right? In that month as well, I also posted a super viral video on YouTube. And it was actually covering Iman's new program he released. It got like 50,000 views or something like that. And I was ecstatic. I was like, there's no way there's this many people out there trying to do the same thing I am. And that sure was the wake up for me, right? It was like, okay, I need to put full pedal to the metal. There's no stopping. I have to compete against all these other people, or else I'm just going to be the loser, right? I'm going to be probably majority of those people that watch my video. Like, to be completely honest, they didn't really see success in their agency and they just quit, whatever it is. I can't be that person. That was what I said to myself. Then the month after, in August, I first turned on paid ads for Facebook. I started spending my own money to give Facebook to actually run my own ads. And that was when I first saw my first bit of success. I hit $12,000 in that month. And I looked at my phone one day and I just looked at it and I was like, 12K in like at 17 in like a 20-day period or 25-day period. I was like, that's crazy. And then 30 seconds later, I think I just didn't care and I wanted 20K. That was kind of my initial impression, and I think it is for a lot of people, is you just want the next thing immediately. But it was still pretty cool, right? And throughout the entire summer, I was, like I said, I was overweight previously, not doing much, playing a lot of video games, just not great at all. And then in the summer, I actually got like pretty good in shape. I was like, everything was kind of going well, I would say. And then that followed into the month of September, where I hit 20K. Okay, and this was all with my real estate agency. I was constantly documenting and posting everything on YouTube while I was doing this, and it was cool. Like, I was kind of crushing it going into like my actual high school senior year, but it wasn't like going in person like you would think. It was kind of just, I guess, fast tracked, you could say. And everything was going great. And September was doing 20K. Then I kind of entered this down spiral, and this was through the months of October all the way to December. And I really just, I don't know what happened. I pretty much just fell off. And I gained weight again. I actually didn't really close any new clients throughout those 3 months. I literally just lost it. And I had some reoccurring money, I think, coming in. I don't know the exact amount. It was like 7 to 10K from reoccurring clients I had previously. So that was great. But I really wasn't getting anything out of those months. I was kind of just in this phase of not knowing what to do. Should I stick with the agency? I don't know what it was, but for me, I just knew I wanted something more, and I didn't see the agency as something that could take me to the 100, 200, 300K plus mark without being in the game for many, many, many years, because that just wasn't my goal personally. So throughout those months, I just kind of went down a down spiral, gained weight, and I made a 2024 goals video at the end of December, beginning of January. And I set super strict goals where I need to hit $30,000 a month profit this year. Every single month. I need to hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers, which may or may not happen. I'm not sure. I'm just set myself, I'm going to constantly upload every week. And then 3 is kind of just getting back in shape, because I was pretty fit in the summer after being overweight, and then I just literally fell back into the same trap. So then that was like, okay. And I also wanted to move out into a new house and just go like complete, I guess you could call it monk mode for a couple months. So going into January, I actually found a software called AirAI, which I'm sure if you've seen my channel recently at all, I've posted a lot about it. It's a conversational AI tool, and I started selling this to solar business owners because I knew another guy in the program I was in, and he also wanted to start selling it. He had solar experience before. Real estate agents, I just didn't want to sell to them anymore, to be honest with you. And we was like, okay, let's see how this does. And we collected 35K in 30 days, and the next month after that, we did 20 plus K as well. So that was great, and that was a lot of profit in my pocket. Like, that was a lot of money pretty quick. And eventually, kind of just life just sometimes kicks you again. Entrepreneurship just kicking you in the face. Essentially, he had family issues. He couldn't keep doing it, so he had to leave. And I was stuck now with a business, a real estate agency, which a couple clients in. I wasn't really closing anyone, like I said. I had a couple clients just in there as like reoccurring. And then I had this solar kind of AI business, which I was implementing solar, which I made pretty good money from. But now I didn't have the person who has the experience to actually help run it with me. And at this point, I literally just moved alone into a house to completely focus on business and, personal development pretty much. And now I just was kind of left with nothing. I was literally like, I didn't know what to do for like, there was like 2-week span of me just like empty. And I don't think this is talked about that much on YouTube, especially from what I see. But there are those weeks or those months that you just don't know what's going on, and maybe your head is not straight. And for me, I talked with a guy randomly who actually introduced me to Air AI, and his name was Wyatt. And I knew him previously before he was, I think, making any money. I think he might have been pressure washing. He was making nothing. Okay, he's a 16-year-old. We talked. He did 50K. I think the first month in January. So he was crushing it with what he was doing, and it was directly correlated to the skill set I had. And I was like, okay, let's see what we can do here. And essentially jumped on his team. I pretty much just, him and I both run it. And like you can see a school community below this video, you can understand more about what we do. I'm not going to explain it here, what we help people with. But just within the past 4 weeks alone of me recording this now, we've done $114,000, right? He's 16. I just turned 18, and that's like a 7-figure business already, right? So it's super cool to think about what is possible within 1 year. This is all within 1 year. So many ups, so many downs. But ultimately, now we're just scaling this, and we're going to run it up to 300, 400, 500K a month. And those goals I said at the start of the year should all be hit. Not sure about the YouTube subscribers one, but lost all the weight pretty much. I made a day in the life video, so I kind of go more into depth about that if you want to check that out. And ultimately, I think the message from this video is just, if you really do put your mind to something and you're not half in, half out, which I would say majority of people are, you will see success. And that is the one thing that just for me, I didn't have at the start. I was half in, half out, and I sacrificed everything, right? Like I didn't have that, like I really didn't have many friends. I didn't do much, right? And like I sacrificed everything for this. So I knew I had to make it work. And that leads me here today. So only in 1 year, I went from $1,000 about from just working at golf courses and stuff like that to over $100,000. And that's kind of the story. That's kind of the age 17 recap. I hope you found this a little bit insightful. I know this is a lot just kind of on like what I've done, but this is possible. So if you do put your mind to something for a whole year, your life can completely change, like hands down. So yeah, with that being said, not to go any longer, I'm going to wrap it up here. So I'll see you guys in the next video.